to all the dispossessed youth of Africa, for perpetuation of communion with ancestral spirits through the fight for African freedom, and in the firm faith that the dead, the living, and the unborn will unite to build the destroyed shrines. Selah. Hello and welcome, beloveds, to another episode of Wake Up Africa. My name is Dr. Mumbi Saraki. How you doing? How's everything going? I really do pray that you are well in all your ways, beloveds, and that you're moving into living life truly on your own terms. I pray that you're not losing steam and that you're keeping on, and that, you're continuing to build your life outside of the Babylon system, because Babylon has fallen, beloveds. The only thing that is keeping Babylon's matrix up and kicking and alive is the minds of the billions of people who have, sold their souls to Babylon by putting their faith in Babylon, by ordering their actions around Babylon, by literally just being caught out. Because Babylon is the great trickster, beloveds. The enemy of our soul. I think we take for granted this meaning of tricking. And how crazy the trickster, man. Lie upon lie upon lie upon lie. The entire world is built on lies. Though when you start dismantling the lies and go down that rabbit hole, it goes so deep. And many just ain't ready. But the greatest lie that our people have been told is that we gained independence. The greatest lie, beloveds, that we've been told is that slavery and colonialism ended. I'm here to tell you today, beloveds, it didn't. It absolutely didn't. We have never been free. That independence was a false independence. It was hijacked halfway through. I remember our great ancestor said the Muzungu would walk through the front door, turn around and come through the side door. Because you see, he already cloned many of the leaders and organized a structure where we would never be free. And you see, he got so much more on the pretense of our freedom and our independence than he did beating and, raping and subjugating us to all kinds of madness, to try and make us submit to his system. And it's really important, beloveds, that you read the Willie Lynch letter. I actually have a copy. You can always email me and I'll share it with you. But especially on the African continent, because we really don't know just how this total brainwashing happened. But we never gained independence. We never gained freedom because we were never allowed to return to the way we were. You see, the only nations that really gained freedom were like nations like India, where their culture wasn't totally decimated. Their gods weren't totally removed. They still held on to some foundation of their culture. But for us, it's all been the same old game, beloveds. We don't have chains on, physical chains, but many of us have mental chains. And those mental chains are far worse, beloveds. Far worse than the rape and torture that our ancestors endured. Far worse. And that is why there is such a great return of the ancient ones. Because we've been taken so far from ourselves, beloveds, that we would never find our way home if it wasn't for this current spiritual intervention, the great spiritual rescue that is underway and has been underway for a couple of years. But the greatest lie, beloveds, is that we're free. We're not. Over 90% of our artifacts are in Babylon museums, Babylon churches, the Vatican, vaults deep down in the Vatican are instruments of power. Our shrines have been totally decimated. And Catholic churches built on those. On top of them, everything has been overlaid. We've never gained freedom. We're not free right now. And this form of slavery, which is wage slavery and health slavery, mental slavery, spiritual slavery, is far worse than the physical slavery, beloveds. And they didn't just achieve it overnight. It has taken so much for them to implement this. But our ancient ones have not been sleeping. The Spirit of the Most High, Mwenye Hinya, the one of absolute power. That's what my ancestors called the Most High. The one who holds all the power. Shout out to my brother who shared with me, the book which was talking about the spiritual practices of our people. That's why the spiritual intervention happened the moment the slavery happened. But they got us mentally here. You see, on the supreme level, there's a level they can't even reach, beloveds. They're ruling us from the dimension just above this one. And they've created this dimension. They've overlaid ours so that we can come low, but we can't go high. And it's all because the world is mental, beloveds. So if you can make a people feel they're free, if you can mash up people so much mentally that they think that every situation you're creating is because of them, where they think they're the ones who are weak, that's why they have corrupt governments. It's because of them that they have the Boko Harams of this world. And you're the one manifesting this entire thing? And you can just keep people enslaved and colonized forever. That's why the Great Awakening has been quite unprecedented, because it's been an awakening of us to ourselves. It's so beautiful. I got this amazing email from one of my sisters, and shout out to all the sisters that support me across the world, especially my Kenyan sisters. I can't even say especially my Kenyan sisters, because my Caribbean sisters, my sisters in the divided states, I feel your love. I feel our connection. And really, when it boils down to it, it will come down to us, beloveds. And I'll be getting into that in the future. But if you can make a people believe the greatest lie, and the greatest lie we've been told is that we achieved independence, that we became free, and that we're free till they've been playing us. Our enemy is the great trickster. There's no freedom he gave us. We're not free. Look at every single leader who has died on the continent. Babylon churches have handled their last rites. Look at how all our leaders are dressed. 99.9% of them. They're all dressed in the Babylon suit, tie, and coat. Because the invasion was mental, beloveds. And they've just been feeding us a bunch of gibberish to keep us, bucking and jiving, like everything's all right, everything's hunky-dory. Let's take a short break. We'll be right back.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. Wake up, Africa.
Welcome back, beloveds, to Wake Up Africa. My name is Dr. Mumbi Seraki, here with a truth that I don't think a lot of us really digest or even, allow to penetrate. The fact that slavery and colonialism never ended, beloveds. The struggle has continued. And it's funny because in Kenya they talk about like is it the first level of freedom and the second freedom and the third freedom, and I never understood it, but I really feel like it's across the global melanated nation. The first freedom was physical, but we stopped there. We didn't demand our mental and spiritual freedom as well. And you see, while we were still trying to organize our physical freedom, so much was being done to now solidify the mental and spiritual freedom because we'd already allowed them into our house. So it's like, and then so many deals were made. And we can't judge what the leaders of those times, I'd love to call them brotherhood and they sold out, but who knows what decision, what mental state they were in when they made the decisions they made. And you see, our house was already divided, beloveds. But even that, there's so much obscurity. Did we really hate each other? Were there those that sold us out? Yes, there were, and there are those spirits. All those spirits are around us today. But I think the fundamental thing we need to realize is that we didn't even win the physical liberation. Yeah, that's what they say. They say there's the first liberation, the second liberation, the third liberation. We didn't even fully get the first liberation because our leaders had to make so many concessions. If they had taken the tough decisions there, the system wouldn't be so entrenched now that it's almost impossible for our people to mentally chart a way out. It's like with Mandela. If Mandela had done what needed to be done, if it was even the real Mandela, stories for other days. If he had done what he had done when there was that whole euphoria when he came to president and really made those tough decisions of giving our people back land and doing some really, phenomenal things, they'd have probably taken him out, whether he was real or fake. But I mean, that was never his agenda. You see, that's why I'm keep saying, we've been in a circus, beloveds. We're still in the freaking circus. It's all been a game and we're the ones who got played. Because we've been thinking things are true that are actually false. And one of the things that we've been thinking are true is that we're free, or is that we gained our independence. We're still independent, interdependent on them. They were never going to let us be free. And that's how, it's so crazy how the trickster plays, man. It's so crazy, the levels, seriously, when you meditate on this, the levels he's gone to. Because we've all been tricked into believing we're free and into now trying to survive in this global matrix. So our most brilliant have gone into their system, feeding their system as doctors, as engineers, as techies, having their intellectual property stolen, all their ideas stolen, all in this gibberish thing. It's a joke, and we're the ones who are being played, beloveds. Because slavery and colonialism never ended. And I've told you guys this story before, in the independence struggle, they wanted to there was a move to create the Organization of African Unity and to put one of the last standing kings, Haile Selassie, wherever you think of him, to put him, my friends just got here. Stories for other days, man. Some people ain't ready. But, to put him on the throne, just to help us reestablish our kingdoms and queendoms. But that was never the goal. You see, the fact that we kept Ghana, Zambia, Zimbabwe, Kenya, the fact that we kept these, Nigeria, and that we don't even know our own map, beloveds. We don't even know our own kingdoms. And please watch my video. I don't know if I've released it here, but you can definitely catch it on Patreon about the 7 pillars of the Babylon system. The education, the media. It's like they've always targeted the next generation because they feel that the generation that are adults right now, they already got you before you got to where you're at. So they're always targeting the children. That's why they put the education in the churches and made you baptize your child before they could even speak for themselves. by pouring water on their heads, shutting out their first eye anyway. But you see, because we believed we're free, we stopped fighting for our freedom. And that's why I say the trickster is so brilliant. In that he realized he didn't have to beat us into servitude. He just had to make us feel like we were one of them. Because if Africa was free, would the madness be going on right now? Would we be losing all our minerals? And we read about it like it's a joke, and then we're told it's our corrupt politicians. So how are 40 million people subjugated to the corruption of 100 people, beloveds? How is that working out? How are 1,000 politicians, many very ignorant, many Babylonian worshippers, many in brotherhoods and secret societies, many using the lesser magic of our people to get those positions, many with no moral compass at all? How are they able to control people and to allow the Babylonians to just come and literally ship out, and the dragon to come and just ship out all our minerals? Like, I was shocked. So I was looking for some copper bars here in Kenya, and I was shocked to learn even our Kenya Power Company, beloveds, doesn't even have full copper rods. You can't get full copper rods in Kenya. We've shipped them all to Babylon and gotten paper in return and debt. So we've not been free. And if we still think, and that's why I keep saying, because I get so many requests, beloveds, to join this organization and that organization. And I keep wanting to say it's all in vain. Because I got, there's a political party now that has been set up, the Liberation of Africa or something like that. And I was just like, you're still trying to do it in the Babylon matrix. Nothing will come of it. Absolutely nothing will come of it. Until we can realize, because you can only solve a problem if you recognize the problem. Until we realize we're not free and slavery and colonialism were never won, and that the neo-colonialism started the day our freaking, president signed those Lancaster papers for the British colonies, signed, for us to be given our freedom, but didn't get our land back, didn't get our gods back, didn't get our culture back, didn't get our nations back, and didn't, and it's not even they weren't allowed to do the necessary work. Like the Maasai, they're split. Tanzania has half the population, Kenya has the rest. And they had such massive expanses of land. So now when they were split down the middle, no one said, let's put the Ma nation together. So let's, Tanzania, whatever, let's negotiate where the land is, because they knew. But we were never even given that chance, beloveds. It's been a game and we're the ones who've gotten played. You've never been free. The minute you accept that, then maybe you'll take the liberation story a bit more seriously. Because these are perilous times. And you can't go around, especially in Babylon, thinking you're free when you're in the belly of the beast, when you're in the arms of the enemy. You can't be trusting the enemy to do all the things they're trying to do to you, because they've got you here thinking you're free. What's so free about your life, beloveds? What's so free about your life? Where is there freedom in your life? You're not a free human breathing being. And if you know that, then now we can start. That's where we need to start from. For any kind of reformation, restoration of our people, we need to start there. We can't start at the bottom of governments and all these people. No, we need to start at the top spiritually. Get the freedom there, and then with that spiritual power, reorder our societies, and can absolutely be done because the ancient ones are walking among us. Tuko pamoja.